Check, check. Is it working? Checking to see if my microphone works. In a second, as soon as I sit down. Alright, get this beat going. Just want to double check that you can hear me. Hey friends, can you hear me? I can see me on the stream. I don't think I can hear it. On the stream? I don't think I can hear it. Oh! On the stream? My audio is having issues. Oh! My audio is having issues. Sorry. Hold on. Okay. Whoa, why is my output going to my computer, not my headphones? Whoa, why is my Sorry, 1 second. Oh, Fitzmurphy, you're here. It sounds okay now? I'm just gonna not have a monitor on myself then. Hi, Robert! Yeah, I rehung the pizza. The pizza fell. How are you all doing? I feel kind of crazy because I've been streaming so much this week, and I have a lot of streaming scheduled this week also. And I'm supposed to be streaming with, well, not streaming, I'm supposed to be recording with Fun City tonight, but I always have this on my calendar, so this took precedence. So thank you for hanging out with me. Appreciate it. What'd y'all have for lunch today? I forgot to eat lunch. I had a square of English toffee. But for breakfast, what did I eat? I feel like I ate something. Oh, I know what I ate. I'll show you in the photos in a second. But now that you're here, I'm just going to get started with the business so that we can get to the eggs. Oh, Fitzmurphy is making shrimp and rice for dinner. A lunch with chocolate-covered raisins. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Robert is having chicken salad sandwich with avocados. That sounds so good. I haven't had a chicken salad sandwich in ages. Ages. And Adam is having frozen Trader Joe's chicken chili verde burrito for lunch. I remember those. I think I ate those in college. Haven't had one in a while. Awesome. Good to see you guys. I'm glad you're here. This is going to be Egg Edition number 2, which I'm very excited about. So let me get the business out of the way so that we can get to more important things. So last time, on the last Wednesday's stream, you can check it out if you click on videos here on Twitch, we talked about tamarindo and how to use it, because Ethan was stuck with a packet of it. Like, he made a turkey tamarind recipe, didn't really like it, and then he had this whole packet of tamarind paste in his pantry, didn't know what to do with it. So we had tons of ideas for that. We also answered Steven's question about pasta water, like why is it important, why do we use it, why do we save it, and all the things you can do with it. It makes your pasta sauces great. Check that out if you didn't watch last week. And then Carol asked about salmon fillets. There were so many ideas about salmon fillets and things you should pay attention to when you're buying fish. We also mashed up ideas about what to do with anchovies, figs, oranges, and Brussels sprouts. So that was a doozy. So start thinking about things you want to mash up today at the end of the stream, and we'll play around and expand our minds. You know, what goes together, what doesn't go together. In my mind, most things go together. In my mind. So like I mentioned, you can watch all the clips here on my channel if you click on videos. After every stream, I cut them apart into the different sections so that you don't have to watch the whole thing and navigate. So make it easier for you. So Twitch deletes the streams every 2 weeks. So I'll be uploading those archive videos to youtube.com/JennDLV, JENNDLV. Make sure to subscribe there if you can't watch at this regular time. If you are watching from the future, talking to the future people. All right. I also went live on Sunday. I go live on Sundays at noon Eastern to talk about zines. And this past week, I talked about Put an Egg on It, issue number 7. Highlighted Pork Belly Comics Korean fish zine, which is very beautiful. It has this really cool style of exploded recipes. You'll have to check out the stream to learn what that is. We also looked through Edible Brooklyn, Edible East End, and a travel issue of Gourmet magazine, which gave me a lot of unexpected feels. Like, can you imagine leafing through a magazine now that is full of mostly travel ads? Like hotels, restaurants you can't go to right now? Like, it was surreal, dude. It was really crazy. But anyway, that's what happened on Sunday. Cool. Most of you already know this in the chat, but for people who are tuning in later or watching at another time, great news, I'm a Twitch affiliate now, and if you have Amazon Prime, you can gift a subscription to your favorite creators every month, and I hope you choose me. So if you have one, click that purple button. It's either above my head or below the video here that says gift a sub, and you'll be able to get a little crown next to your name in the Twitch chat. Most people don't know that they get a free Twitch subscription to gift when they use Amazon Prime, and I think my keyboard just died. Oh, yo, R.I.P. Casio. Just kidding, it didn't completely die. I think the batteries just ran out. I haven't replaced the batteries in a couple years, so I'm surprised that it held on for this long. R.I.P. You know what? Maybe I'll go get my other phone that has tone pad on it, just so that we have a little bit of twinklies in the background. Okay, 1 second. Technical difficulties. Who knew? Poor Casio. Aw, buddy. Alright. I'm back. So I have an app called TonePad. It's free. I use it for all my skate videos. It's very twinkly and cute. Real easy. I'm just gonna make it louder. Is that too loud? I know why my audio is messed up. Okay, let's open Loopback. I had to install this dumb thing when we were figuring out how to do a stream yesterday. Where is it? Loopback. I just want to close it. Well, I guess my audio will just be... I just won't have a monitor. That's all that's gonna happen. Is the twinklies too loud, or is it fine? Can you hear the twinklies? I'll move it. Okay, twinklies is good. Hey, what's up? Drip is in the house. Drip is hanging out. Cool. Moving on, I was talking about connecting your Amazon Prime account to Twitch. Most people don't know that they get a free Twitch subscription from Amazon Prime. What that means is you can gift your favorite creators once a month. And we get, you know, a couple cents per month from those. So it's nice. It's a nice little passive way for us streamers to start making money, you know. Nice to have. But if you don't have Amazon Prime, that's totally fine. I know it's complicated. I don't like Amazon myself, but there are different things that I depend on it for, you know, affiliate marketing and all that. Music situation is not great. Oh. I'm gonna have to, like, keep the screen. Hold on. Sorry. Hold on. I want to take care of this. It just sucks that the Casio batteries just crapped out just now. Pissed. Pissed about it. I know. We want to learn about eggs. Hold on. How do I, F? Yeah, let's get an F in the chat for the dead Casio. It sucks. General, no. Display, here we go. Brightness, raise to it. Oh my god, forget it. I'm just gonna keep the music on if it happens, and if it doesn't happen, great. I know, dead Casio. So sad, so sad. Anyway, let's talk about all the stuff I've been making. Some Monday skate videos. Can you believe that? I can't believe that I have 11 skate videos now up on YouTube. I'm also uploading them here to Twitch. I didn't know that you could upload videos to Twitch like it was YouTube. So that's happening too. Fun City, my podcast group, is recording an episode of Fun Chatty tonight. So that will be up on Friday. I will not be on it because obviously I'm sitting right here streaming. But that means that we're going to have a new episode next Friday, which is very exciting. Yeah. So don't forget, there's a free pantry guide to go along with this stream on my Patreon. It's great. Last Friday, I published some very, very complicated feelings about Alice and Roman on my monthly column. It's usually an analysis of a very popular recipe. So Alice and Roman's cookies were very popular last year, or the last 2 years, excuse me. And I've been putting off covering that recipe because, you know, I had a lot of feelings about her and, like, racism and all these things. And then she blew the F up last week, which was insane. And so you can read that. It's on my Patreon. It's free. Yeah. Oh, I also posted about Patreon's tax changes that are coming up. It's really weird. It only affects, like, certain types of tiers on Patreon. So check your Patreon receipt every month and let me know if it starts taxing you for things. I'm only offering, like, PDFs and recipes, so we're not offering any physical goods or, like, exclusive streaming, at least not yet. So I'm going to try to read up on it and educate myself about it. But, yeah. Oh my god, Chris Kaiser's here! Hey, brother! How you doing, brother? Really glad to see you. What else? I also posted about banana jam. Those are patron-only recipes. Today was cast iron fajitas, like you were at Chevy's or Applebee's. Lots of modifications that you could do with that. It's really fun. I'm starting a podcast called Culinary Word of the Day. It's off to a slow start. I have episode 1 done. Episode 2 is in the works. There is a Twitter account you can follow. It's Culinary WOTD. And if you follow there, there's a Google form thingy where you can submit a word. So the kinds of words that I'm looking for to educate other people about are, first of all, culinary words, but also thinking about agriculture, restaurant lingo, international words or international dishes or ingredients that, you know, are unique to your household. I would love to learn more about that. Cooking techniques, like, you know, you can submit a word so that you can learn more about it as a cooking method from me. So that's just think about that. I'm really excited to start that podcast. The first episode's only like 3 minutes long, so I'm trying to keep them compact and numerous. That's the goal. Let's see. I still have an Etsy store. I haven't really added any new stock yet, but it's there. The link is below the video here. You can click on that another time. I'm still including recipe cards and random stickers while they last. Lots of stuff to mail out. I love mailing things. Yeah. And if Patreon, Twitch sub, or Etsy isn't possible for you, but you want to still tip me for good cooking advice, my Venmo/PayPal is below. It's randwiches@gmail.com. Or you can just tell a friend to subscribe here or on Instagram or Twitter. Like, those are nice free things that you can do. Anyway, my brother's here. Chris is here. Whoa, there are like 10 people watching this. This is insane. This is like the most people. Guys, I'm excited. All right, let's look at what happened this week. What the hell did I do this week? Scene change. Look at that. So fancy. Oh, the phone decided to just crap out. Come on, guys. I want to try to fix this. Sorry. Battery? Is it under battery? No. It's under accessibility? No. I don't remember where this stupid shit is. Okay, wait. No, not auto lock. There we go. Never. There we go. Right? Is that how we turned it off? I'm sorry, everybody. Hold on. Okay. Hopefully that changed it and the music won't go away. Anyway, these are things that I made this week. These are brochettes, which are beef skewers with some garlic bread. A friend of mine, you know, has been, I guess, effectively dumpster diving. And he hits me up whenever he gets like some really high quality stuff, and he's like, I can't believe these people are throwing this away. So he gave me some baguettes. Like, I can't believe people were throwing out, you know, I guess it's like a food vendor, and they see the shelf date go off, but they don't actually look at the product. Like, stores are not allowed to sell that stuff anymore, and so they literally throw it out. So there was like a perfectly fine baguette that was like wrapped in paper and plastic that he gave to me. And the expiration date was like yesterday. Whatever. Anyway, so I made these Peruvian skewers. One of them is purely Peruvian, which has chili pepper, garlic, red wine vinegar, which is something I don't actually use very much, but I have it in my pantry. I don't remember why I have it, but I don't use it very often. And so marinating the beef with this, it was so good. And then the other skewer, the bottom skewer, is calamansi soy sauce and salt and pepper. Real good, real good. I grilled that up for lunch the other day. This was a labor of love, this dish. It looks like, what does it look like to you? It is well, let me see what you think. What do you think this is? It is thinly sliced potato. Oh yeah, you already saw it. Okay, never mind. All of you follow me on Instagram, so you've already seen it. These are compressed compressed potato confit, which means that it is super thinly sliced potato. I tossed it in beef fat and butter, and then laid them out, in a bread loaf pan, and it made like an inch tall, layer, inch tall like cake basically. And then I covered that in parchment paper, baked that at 200 degrees for 3 hours. So it was like slow cooking. And then once it came out of the oven, I put another loaf pan inside, like set inside of it, and then weighted it down with a salt block. And so overnight in the fridge, it solidified into this butter potato block. The next day, I slice it into these shapes, baton and then cube, and then deep fry those. And then inside, okay, so the outside is like croissant, like layer, and then the inside was like tater tot. It was amazing. It was so much work. It was so much work. But I'm using a spicy aioli here. That was the dip. I know, I want to eat it too. Potato crusted corn dog is an amazing idea. I want to do that. Let's do that. Let's do that sometime. Anyway, this is potato confit. Wow. Okay. I had a hard-boiled egg the other day, and it looked like a Pac-Man ghost. I've never seen a hard-boiled egg peel this way. Like, I've seen, like, the concave hole, because sometimes there's an air pocket if you don't rotate the eggs while they're hard-boiling. But this one came out like Pac-Man ghost. Whatever. Cute. Oh, okay, so this is... I was reading an issue of Eating Well magazine like last week, and they had this really great feature on Burmese tea leaf salad, and so I set out to make my own fermented green tea leaves. So if you're drinking green tea right now, you should always save the leaves, because if you keep them in a clean, sterilized jar, you can ferment those at room temperature. So you just clean jar, spent green tea leaves, and then keep the lid on loose, and then you ferment those for 3 days. After that, you blend the leaves with like garlic, ginger, onion, olive oil, and a little vinegar, and it becomes this like lafette, which is like a tea leaf condiment. Noma has this amazing article that I read about trying to ferment like red currant leaves, birch tree leaves, like all this stuff. I'm experimenting right now with peach tree leaves, which generally are toxic if you don't cook them, but I've already steeped them twice, so we'll see what happens with that. But anyway, this is a Burmese tea leaf salad with stir-fried beef at the top. There's cilantro. I have some crushed nuts, crushed shrimp, cabbage. Then the very middle there, not very middle, a little off-center, but the tea leaf condiment is in the middle. And then I squeezed some calamansi and have a grilled bok choy. This was a great dinner. Like, I loved it. I loved it. So good. Yeah, fermented food is so good. I agree. So, last night, I catered a gala. So, I'm on the board of the Tank NYC, which is a theater in Manhattan, and they've had to close during quarantine, and instead of our annual gala that I get to cater, we did it all online, and it was really great. I got to teach like 200 people how to make food. We had this really professional like 2-camera setup. I had like a fancy light, but I had to, break the studio down and give it back. So now I know what it takes to do like an actual cooking stream. I need to like get a $200 light and another $200 webcam so I could do overheads over the sink. I'm not over the sink, over the stove, excuse me. But this was a really easy dish that I taught everybody. It's a carrot ribbon salad. So it's, if you just take a vegetable peeler and you peel your carrot, but just keep going, you make these ribbons, right? And then there's cilantro, there's a thinly sliced radish, and then basically tablespoon of vinegar or pickle brine, whatever you have in the fridge, olive oil, salt, and pepper. Really easy. And then crushed French's fried onions on top. Or, you know, Funyuns also work. Delicious. Great. So this was a opening salad for the dinner last night. Where is it? That's not it. I thought I had the other vegetables here. But there were also roasted zucchini, bok choy, and then for the main course, can you believe it? I taught people how to make pancit. Woo! Where can you order calamansi? My aunt picks it and mails it to me. I'm sorry. I know. I'm saving all the seeds so that I can possibly grow them for myself. But I haven't gotten one to sprout yet. It's very troublesome. I mean, it's not the right climate over here. So, anyway, I taught like 200 people how to make pancit, and it's really hard to do a consistent recipe of an inconsistent thing. So like in the Philippines, there's like hundreds and hundreds of kinds of pancit, and I'm used to making bihon, which is made of rice vermicelli noodles. They're like really skinny. But because of quarantine, hundreds of people that participated in this all got different noodles. Like even me, I got a delivery of Thai rice linguine, which I've never used before. So you can see that they're a little thick. But I mean, the idea is still the same, right? Like, pancit is basically vegetable and meat stir fry. And then the noodles are constituted in a broth that soaks it up. And then you fold all of that together. And then you eat it with like lime, lemon, fish sauce. Still turned out great. I told this story last night about a backyard neighbor that I had. The only Filipino neighbors that we had in Palmdale, California, which is in Mojave Desert. They would ring me on the landline. Remember landlines, right? They'd ring me on the landline. They'd be like, come to the fence. They didn't really... I didn't understand Tagalog, and they would keep trying to talk to me in this language I don't understand. But they would say, come to the fence. And so I'd go to the backyard. And then the grandpa would always be like laughing at me as he hands me this big Tupperware. And inside of the Tupperware was pancit, like a mashup of two different kinds. So bihon, which is like the skinny rice vermicelli noodles, and then canton, which is Cantonese thicker noodles, and chorizo with cilantro. And so that always stuck with me. I always stick chorizo and cilantro in my pancit now. But this is the dish that I taught like hundreds of people last night, and it was super fun, and I was really, really proud. If you want to check out the photos, they're all in my Instagram stories right now. Or if you go to the hashtag, is it Tank 2020 Gala? I don't know. Anyway, it's on my Instagram stories if you want to check it out. But yeah, dude, it was a combination that I wasn't used to either. So, I know, strategic of me to start my stream around dinner time, right? This is what I had for breakfast. My friend Kate, what is it called? Torta pascualina, which is like basically a spinach and cilantro pie with a hard-boiled egg in the middle. She was telling me that her family is doing weekly cooking classes together. They're like each teaching each other a new skill. And so she learned how to make pie crust today, like for below and on top. And then she made this cute thing and dropped it off at my house. It's delicious. Woo! That's like another egg dish that I didn't know about. You know, I've heard of, you know, Scotch eggs, like hard-boiled egg inside of a sausage, and then that's baked or fried. I've seen the devil within. Have you heard of the devil within? Which is a soft-boiled egg inside of a muffin that has chunks of ham and chive in it. That was available at a place called Craftsman and Wolves in San Francisco. I don't know. If you ever see any, you know, egg embedded in foods, like, please tag me. on Instagram and Twitter, and would just feel free to send me eggs all the time. I love receiving eggs. I'll be so happy. Alright, what else? Oh, I harvested a second flush of mushrooms from my block. I thought the block died. Honestly, I thought the block died. And it had been like maybe a week and a half, and crazy, these things are growing again, so I started spritzing it 3 times a day. Yesterday I cleaned it off. These mushroom blocks, it's basically compacted sawdust that are inoculated with the mycelium, which is the main fungus that makes mushrooms grow. It's like a mother, basically, like, you know. So I cleaned off all the little bits that didn't end up growing. These things grow mushroom pins, which are the beginnings of mushrooms, but then sometimes they just die and dry out. So I cleaned it off, and I soaked the block in water for 12 hours, and then put it in a new bag, and hopefully in a week we're gonna have a third flush or third growth of mushrooms. And they're always so huge. Oh my god. Like, if you have an opportunity to get a mushroom block shipped to you, like, it's a great investment. At least the one that I got was $15, and I've harvested over like 4 pounds of mushrooms so far. Crazy, right? So that's what I've been up to this week. Oh, forgot to say, I'm gonna be a guest for the first time on a RPG podcast called Critical Bits. We're gonna be streaming on Friday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. It'll be my first time role-playing with these people. I've never actually, like, role-played outside of my group, which is Fun City. So Critical Bits is another podcast, and they're also taking a break from studio quality recording and doing lots of live streams, and it's gonna be fun. There's a game that's not released yet. It has a Kickstarter. It's called Pasión de las Pasiones, Passion of the Passion. So if you can imagine, it's an RPG telenovela. So I'm gonna be guest starring as a dramatic, I don't know yet. I haven't developed this character yet. But her name is Elena Oreada. She's gonna slink around a lot. It's gonna be great. All right, let's see what people submitted this week. So if you want to see your photo here, share your photo. You can text it, tweet it to me, DM me, tag me on Instagram. I love sharing photos. JV finished his first loaf of sourdough bread. Good job. JV doesn't actually bake or anything, and he's doing really great. Like, look at that. Look at those holes. Good crumb. Amazing. Tris got the Pixel Egg stickers in the mail, put it on his phone, on a new phone case. Thanks, Tris, for representing. Pixel Eggs forever. Ooh, Tiger Uppercut says, my favorite is sunny side up. What about you? I like a crispy fried egg. Good question. What else does everybody like to... How do you all like your eggs in the chat? We should always just start Egg Stream with how everybody likes their eggs. Did y'all see that Reddit about, the relationship Reddit about the woman that said that her fiance or boyfriend always gets into brawls with the guy at Waffle House? Oh, you like Poached. Nice. Nice, KK. Nice. Yeah, there's this Reddit post. I think if you just Google it, like, Waffle House brawl, there was this guy that, like, it's really important to him how his eggs were made, and the chef would purposefully make them wrong. And one day he served an egg in a basket, and the guy, like, literally took it and threw it at the chef, and the chef, like, picked it up and threw it back at him, and then they just started fighting. Ridiculous. Chris, it's perfect that you said poached, because we're going to talk about that in a second. Whenever I finish shutting up about all the things people sent in. What else? Victor used the kitchen salt and pepper from my Etsy store on a steak. It's great, with a side of kale. Wonderful. Good ideas. Oh, not Victor, Devin. Devin did that. I'm sorry, Devin sent me that. Apologies. Martin made a chicken stir fry. He has a really gorgeous CSA in Oakland, like, amazing. If you're in the Bay Area, this natural wine store called the Punchdown has an amazing CSA. Everything he's getting every week is so beautiful. Jealous. I can't really keep up with the CSA. I have too many other projects that require fridge space. And then finally, Vance. Let me adjust that here. No, I can't. I'm gonna adjust it. There we go. Vance made some meatballs with broccoli rabe and rice. Look at that. Cool. So if y'all want to send me your photos to share, I would love to see them and put them on the stream. Okay. We're going to get into the eggs. Let's put an egg on me. Hey, look at that. Poached egg represent. Dope. Oh, Tris likes cooked in a hot pan and mix of olive oil and butter. Make sure to spoon over the yolks. Lid on until the yolks just set crispy and runny. Ooh, good strategy with the olive oil and butter. I try to split the difference also sometimes because you get the good flavor from the butter, but then the higher smoke point of the oil, so that gives you more of the crispy edges. I don't really like steaming the top like that with a lid, but good on ya. I think the only reason I don't like it is because the photo doesn't look as good. So I should just get over myself and eat it that way. Amazing. Cool. Okay, volume check. Everything's okay. Y'all can hear me, right? Just want to make sure before I get into the nitty-gritty of things. Cool. All right. So Leslie asked, how do we perfectly poach eggs? How do we do multiple at a time? This is a really big one, guys. So poached eggs are famously difficult because the whites and the yolks require different cooking times for doneness. This is generally the challenge with cooking eggs in general. Hello, what's your name? OKT. I'm gonna assume, is your name Katie? How do you like your eggs? Please tell the chat. But yeah, so the major problem with cooking eggs in general is that the yolk and the white have two completely different purposes in the egg, right? And so they have different water levels and they have different viscosity, so they require different cooking times. And that always messes people up. I mean, it's not easy cooking eggs, but I can tell you as much as I can to help you so that, you know, you can get them closer to how you like them. So, you know, how do you get it right? How do you fully cook the white without overcooking the yolk? There's so many ways to poach eggs, but because, you know, there's so many variables. So besides the egg being like a complicated thing on its own, there's temperature, depth of the pan that you're using, the freshness of the eggs, the height at which you drop the eggs in the water. Seriously. I'm not kidding. So before you delve into making lots of poached eggs at once, I would say practice poaching one egg at a time to get your particular setup right before throwing in more eggs. That makes sense, right? Right? Yeah. Cool. So starting with temperature. The water shouldn't be boiling. It should be brought to a boil and then lowered down to like barely a simmer. Because boiling, like the difference between boiling and simmering is the bubbles, right? The bubble size and the bubble frequency. So boiling will jostle the egg around more than letting it just fold over itself. You know, you want the egg to like as if it's tucking itself in, you want the egg to like pull a blanket over itself. But if you boil it, it's like throwing a bunch of like ball pit balls into a plastic bag and being like, ah! Oh no, what a weird visual, Jen. So for beginners, I would say limit the depth of the pan that you're using. The taller the sides, the more room there is for the egg white and the egg yolk to separate. Like, I've had so many failed poached eggs where like the yolk was just like over here like a comet and the white was just floating over here. So one way to prevent that is to use more shallow pans. You want it deep enough to cover the height of the egg, but plus shallower the pan, the faster the water will come up to temperature. So that's a plus. Great. Remember how we were talking about hard-boiled eggs last time? It's best to use week-old eggs for that because they create that air pocket I was talking about. And, I showed you earlier that the Pac-Man egg had, like, that space. That's for hard-boiled eggs. For poached eggs, the opposite is true. We want to use fresh eggs because older eggs, they've broken down a little and they have more water content, i.e. those things that give you the wispy strands on the poached egg. Have you seen that before? Yeah. Lost my train of thought. Anyway. So for the water itself, when you're poaching eggs, don't add salt. This is not pasta, Yes, you have the right idea to flavor the poaching water, but salt denatures the egg a bit and it won't stick to itself like we want it to. To get around that, you could use broth to poach eggs, but just know that the egg will react differently than with water, because water is neutral, right? And so it won't bind with it. But with broth, there's fats, there's proteins, there's other things. It's gonna be a little more jelly when you poach in broth. So in shallower pans, the eggs will poach flat. They're not gonna be like picture perfect or like the ones that you're gonna get at Waffle House or Denny's or IHOP. That's because the people at those restaurants are using tall pots. They have more room to fall apart. But, those are professionals. They know their settings. They know their heat. They know how to do it, basically. But another thing you can try, if you only have pots and you don't have any shallow pans, try the vortex. Have you tried the vortex? Do you know what the vortex is? So the vortex is when you stir the water enough with like a wooden spoon before dropping the egg in, so it will spin onto itself. So it's such a funny dance. You go, it's hot water, and you go stir, 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 and then grab your egg and get it in there. Another thing you can do is add a splash of vinegar to the water to help the whites from wisping. What else? Kenji over at Serious Eats uses a sieve. He removes that excess. Haha. If you're using a little bit older eggs, and I told you that it has more water in it, you can use a sieve to like strain out some of that extra stuff that's going to be wispy, and then you can drop that in. French chefs, like in hotels and stuff, they simply just cut the wisp off after cooking. Either way, it's egg. I still eat it. I don't really need it to be that pretty. But remember, the way you get the egg into the water is also important. Dropping it from a height will create splashing. And hot water at you, egg velocity, separating the white from the yolk, it's like not great. So don't, unless you're really practiced with this, like don't crack the eggs directly into the water. There are lots of videos of professionals doing this, but that's because they don't mind getting close to hot simmering water. You will recoil and throw your egg elsewhere if you get too close. So don't do it unless you're practiced. Instead, crack the egg into another vessel, something that will allow you to slip the egg seamlessly into the water, kind of like Olympic diving. You don't want any splash. You want to, slide it in there. So use a saucer, a ramekin, a teacup, or a small bowl, so you can get it as close as you can to the surface of the simmering water and then slip it in. So America's Test Kitchen has a teacup method where you can drop 4 eggs at the same time into a wide pan. So basically you're holding 2, the handles of 2 teacups, and then you flip at the same time. I don't have 4 teacups to test this out, so if anyone has 4 teacups at home, please report back. Chris asks, Jen, have you ever used plastic wrap tied around the edges and putting that in? I have not done it personally, but I have seen it work. The only downside to that, so I was going to get to this, there are a lot of tools that you can use to poach eggs. Chris also says the Vortex helps a ton. Great! Endorsement of the Vortex. I think the Vortex is great. I don't really need to do too many other tricks. The Vortex works for me. But yes, you could also get, snack sandwich bags that don't have the zipper, the ones that like fold over. You crack an egg into that, tie it closed with twine or tie it in a knot, and then you can poach those, and so they'll stay in. Sometimes though, well, first of all, it's plastic. Plastic wrap shouldn't really be heated in a water bath like that. You could potentially be eating, something leaching off the plastic. But I mean, it's food safe material, so if it's not boiling, you won't be melting the plastic. But that does work. It does keep the shape. What else? Yeah. I mean, some people are just generally not trying to use more plastic in their cooking, but it works. It does work. What else? So, generally with cook times, it's 3 to 4 minutes for runny, and then 5 to 6 for more of a solid yolk. I saw some paranoid ass commenters out there opting for 10 minutes because they hate fun. If you know where your eggs come from and got them fresh, you shouldn't have to worry about yolks giving you food poisoning. It is a risk that you take when you do eat runny yolks of anything, but I'm generally not worried. I haven't been food poisoned by an egg in years because I've been eating a lot of eggs, and I think I've assessed the risk, There's this woman named Alice Medrick, and she hates all of these methods that I just mentioned. It's really funny. She's like, don't do any of that. She basically does the same thing as America's Test Kitchen when she does multiple eggs, but instead she drops the eggs in like the face of a clock. So say that you had like a really big, like maybe 3 or 4 inch tall frying pan, right? Sides. She drops them in like one at 12 o'clock. She does another one at like 3 o'clock and then 6 o'clock, so that's how she manages to get multiple eggs going. Not necessarily at once. I would say wait 15 seconds between dropping the eggs in to let them set a little bit, so that you prevent them from finding each other and sticking, because especially if you did a vortex, they're going to be moving. Let's see. America's Test Kitchen also has a method for dropping the eggs. Instead of continuing the simmer for the 3 to 4 minutes or 5 to 6 minutes, they put on a lid, take it off the heat, to finish cooking. That works if you're not making more than what fits in the pan, what am I trying to say? That works if you're not making any more eggs. So say you could fit 6 into the pan and you put the lid on and then turn off the heat. What if you needed to make 6 more? It'd be annoying to get all those out of there and then start the heat again. So I wouldn't really do the lid method unless that was all the eggs you were making. Yeah. So of course, I mentioned, gadgets and shortcuts to control some of these factors. Besides Chris's method that he mentioned with the plastic wrap, there are floating silicone egg cups that, you can get. They're open face. They float in the water, and so it doesn't matter if you're boiling or simmering, it will just stay intact in the silicone thing. The result, it's edible. It just looks eerily too smooth. It looks like the bottom of a... It's just very smooth and it makes me uncomfortable. I'm like, that doesn't look like a natural egg. But I haven't tried it, but also a metal steam basket also works. I saw that on Serious Eats. I haven't tried it myself. If you want to try it, please report back. I don't have a microwave, but apparently you can also poach an egg for 1 minute in a half-cup mug of water. I wouldn't experiment with more than one at a time because the water can boil very quickly in there and over bubble, and then the egg can explode. Not great. The good news is, if you put in all this work of learning how to poach eggs, they last. They can last for up to 2 to 5 days, so you can have poached eggs every morning. So just make a bunch of them at once, and then have them ready. And if you're unsure by day 5 if you should eat it or not, just give it a smell. It should be neutral. It shouldn't stink. So if you smell anything off, shouldn't, don't eat it. Oh, I keep forgetting that I have these like helpful images of poached eggs. You can see that this poached egg is a little wider, so it was poached in a flat pan. If it was poached in a pot, you can tell that it's, you know, more of a bulbous shape and not flat. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's flat or round, like, as long as it tastes good to you, right? And it's the consistency that you want. Oh, I forgot to show you I have my egg earrings on. Go back to the... My friend Mullica got me these from the Egg House. Egg House was like Museum of Ice Cream, but for eggs in New York City. I think it's closed already, but, or, yeah, of course it's closed, but, yeah, it was cool. I never got to go, but I got merch from it. Hooray! Anyone have any questions about poached eggs? Tell me, ask me. Did I not cover anything? Okay. Let's move on. I'm gonna change the tone pad a little bit here. Oh, cute. Oh, this is a really cute melody. I like it. So, we got another question. Actually, while we wait, I'm gonna put another egg on me. Which one should I do? Hard-boiled, fried, or omelette? Which egg should I put on me? I already have one egg on me. I have the poached egg on me, obviously. Let's move it. Here we go. Which other egg should I put? And then we'll get into the next question that I got from somebody. All of them? Okay. Drip says all of them. Here's the fried egg. There's the omelet. Where's hard-boiled? There's hard-boiled. Buddy. Hard-boiled and pizza. I'm like covered in eggs. Love it. I am showing your work. Everybody should follow Drip here on Twitch and on Instagram and Twitter. She is an amazing pixel artist. She streams a lot about the thing she's working on. I always want to hire her for everything. Right? Okay, we're gonna talk about eggshells. So, the last egg edition, we talked about, you know, cracked eggs, why you shouldn't eat them, and safety and stuff. Now we're gonna shift to something that's not necessarily related to cooking. So our friends at Put an Egg on It, Ralph and Simon, asked, can you explain biodegradable packaging made from eggshells? And this was really illuminating and really interesting to read about. So worldwide, we produce 300 million tons of plastic annually. I found a few people who are experimenting with eggshell waste. Why eggshells? We know that it's biodegradable, and so why not use something that's a food waste from another industry to make packaging? For me at home, like for all of us at home, there are things that we can do with eggshells to, you know, not throw them in the landfill. You can either start your own compost. You can put them in water and use that to water your plants. I've been saving my eggshells so that I can plant things in them. I've been sprouting grains and making like basically wheatgrass and planting that inside of eggshells. I'll go get one in a second, actually, so I can show you. I've been drinking a lot of tea, and so if it's not green tea, I use black tea and herbal tea as soil for all the things that I'm growing. I'm gonna go get one. I want to show you. Be right back. This is very adorable. Hold on. Let me switch scenes here. You see my little egg friend? So I've been saving all my eggshells so that I can plant things in them, because the eggshells still have lots of nutrients. They have a lot to offer. So if you use it to water plants, just soak the eggshells in water and then like, that's it. But see, you can see inside, it looks like it has soil, but that's tea. It's all my spent tea. If I'm not eating the green tea, it goes in here. These were rye berries, like a grain rye berries. And I sprouted them in a jar first to make sprouts, and then planted them. And look, they've been growing for like 2 months. I can eat this technically. Ryegrass. But anyway, moving on. So there's this material scientist named Vijaya Rangari. He's in Tuskegee. And they got this idea for when the National Science Foundation challenged researchers to find ways to put waste to good use. So the team blended eggshell nanoparticles into various mixtures, and they tested whether or not they were durable or not. The best performance came from a mix that was about 0.5% eggshell. Doesn't sound like a lot, but, interesting. The result is about 7 times more flexible than other biodegradable polymer blends. The plastic is also strong enough for most packaging uses. So if you think about all the things that we eat, especially with social distancing, this is going to be really important for the food industry to figure out how to make better packaging. Because personally for me, catering is going to be really tough. Like, people won't want to eat from a cheese board anymore, like from the same cheese board. Hundreds of people at a wedding will not want to touch the same things anymore. And so that means more packaging, more individual packaging of things. And so I won't feel so bad about doing that if we have some better material that's not plastic. So other kinds of biodegradable materials they were testing were also from cornstarch. Interesting. So they're now looking what happens to this eggshell plastic blend when they put it in soil. So they want to see how calcium carbonate interacts with plants. Like, so will it still have that same effect of when I use eggshell water to water my plants? So it's kind of, related. So there's another, like, a designer. He's not necessarily a scientist. His name is Basse Stitkin. He aims to address the issue of global food waste and overconsumption with a series of tableware objects made solely from out-of-date eggs. So he collects eggs from local bakeries before cracking and splitting them into white, yolk, and shell. The egg whites are dehydrated and ground into a powder. Didn't know you could do that. Cool, want to try it. And the shells are crushed into small pieces. And so these two elements mixed together are placed in an aluminum mold, which is then heat pressed at 200 degrees. This causes the albumin, like the protein found in egg whites, to form polymers under the heat and pressure. It's kind of like how coal becomes a diamond, essentially. So this forms like a protein-based biopolymer without any plastic. So the first people I was talking about are using like percentage of eggshell with a mix of plastic, but this guy is using broken down entirety of an egg without using plastic. The downside here is that we're not eating the egg. Like, the other one is coming from like spent eggshells. This one is like, we're gonna sacrifice an egg to make materials. I don't know which one's worse. I don't know. So he sees the development of more sustainable materials as important in mitigating climate change. Oh yeah. And he also recognizes it's not getting to the root of the issue. So he acknowledges that, not a perfect solution, but an interesting direction, using egg white to bind with the eggshell. Kind of like how cement is made. So I don't know if you know this, cement is not just like solid powder mix. There's like gravel mixed in there so that it has some kind of structural integrity. So it's really interesting. Does anyone have any other egg questions? It's already 6 o'clock. Damn. Please let me know if you have egg questions or egg recipe ideas. I want to share them with the chat. Oh, I forgot to say, I brought my pal Gudetama. You know how I'm all egged out? Like I'm wearing egg yolk color. I've got my egg earrings, and then I've got Gudetama. Gudetama, how do we feel today?
Seriously, I can't. Can I go now?
He's wiggling his butt.
Don't care. So sleepy.
I got this from my friend Ryan. So sleepy. I used to keep this on my couch, like by the head part, and sometimes I would forget Gudetama was there. And I would like hit my head on him, and then it would just start wiggling its butt on me. You can see that it has like it's wiggling his butt.
No. Please stop.
No?
What do you want?
What do you want? I have a lot of Gudetama paraphernalia in my house. Alright, do we have any additional egg questions, friends? Just tidying up some papers here. Let me put up some egg photos for inspiration. There we go. Eggshells. Well, if you have further egg questions, you know, if you think of it after the stream, always feel free to DM me, tweet me, Instagram me. I'm available to answer your egg questions. I'd like to answer the bigger ones on the stream. We're going to do another egg edition next month in June. Hooray. I haven't set the date, but I'll just start gathering questions for it. Let's do the mashup exercise. Everybody, okay. Someone name a type of egg, like a way to cook an egg, and then everyone else, let's name some ingredients we want to mash up with the egg. So we need an egg type, like a way to cook eggs, and then other ingredients that we want to try to cook with it. This is like chopped. Pretend it's like chopped. Need some ingredients, friends. Over easy. Okay, starting with over easy eggs. What else do we want to cook? A couple more ingredients. Over easy eggs and... If you don't pick, I'm going to point my finger at the chart next to me. There's hilariously a chart next to me. And we will land on an ingredient. Check it out. See, there's a chart right there. And I'm just not gonna look. I'm gonna put my hand on it. We landed on carrots. I seriously have a food chart like next to me. Okay. Over easy, fried pork belly, and carrots. If anyone has any others, please say so in the chat, but let's start with that. Ooh, okay, so we're starting with, let's think about breakfast. For fried pork belly, you know, we can slow roast that, get the skin real crispy, just have like a thick cut bacon with it, like uncured, no nitrates. And then we can roast the carrots and then put some maple syrup at the end so they crisp up the edges and get all sweet and sticky. So roasted maple carrots, over easy eggs, uncured pork belly bacon, yum. We could also render the fat off of the pork belly very slowly. Use that fat to coat the poached egg. Like it's already poached, or already over easy, excuse me. And then we can, trying to think. Can make carrot ribbons, make a slaw. We can puree the carrot with some butter and some broth. Ooh, a banh mi of some kind with the egg. Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. Great idea. We could do like either straight up fried pork belly for like a banh mi, or we could do, we could make a pork belly terrine. So that means rendering all the fat, cooking the pork belly, and then pouring it back into like a cubey thing, like a loaf pan, and letting that cool, and slice it like pate, just like in a banh mi. We have pickled carrots. Ooh, and an over easy egg. That'd be so good. I love that. Good idea. Oh, good idea. Over easy eggs. So, over easy eggs means that the yolk is still intact. So, we could pop it, make a mayo out of the egg yolk, fry the over easy egg even more, get it all, the white all crispy. Trying to think of like a breakfast BLT kind of thing, but BCT, bacon, carrot, no tomato. I don't know. Egg sandwich for breakfast. That'd be good. Yum. These are all good ideas, everybody. Ooh, wait! Listen, what if we did carrot noodle carbonara? So if we fried little bits of the pork belly, made carrot noodles, heated that up, and then tossed the over easy egg on top, and the yolk gets all nice and like luxurious in there. Carrot noodle carbonara, y'all. Great idea. That's fun. I love that. Amazing. I don't know. How about... Okay, let's throw one more ingredient in here. Let's see if we can come up with one more thing, and then we can try to mash all of those things together. Do we have another weird ingredient? Love this. This is my favorite exercise of the stream. It's really fun for me. Get to stretch my brain. Alright, I'm gonna look at the, I'm not gonna look, I'm gonna point at the paper again. Let's pick one more ingredient. Here. Millet. Oh man, millet. How many of you have eaten millet before? So millet is a grain. We can do a grain bowl with the, you know, the over easy egg, the pork belly. You know, we can make lechon kawali, which is boiling the pork belly, rendering the fat, and then deep frying the resultant thing. Yeah! Grind it, make toast. Yeah. We can grind millet into millet flour. The only thing I know how to make out of millet flour is jianbing, or a Chinese pancake with egg on it. That makes total sense. Hell yeah. Great. We could do carrot chips for crunch in there. Pancake, yeah. Lots of pancake. We could do savory pancake. Hell yeah. Man, I miss having a savory pancake. The last one I had was in Oakland from a window that was only open until 4 p.m., so you have to go in the morning. It's totally inconvenient, but so worth it. Oh, I really want to make another jianbing soon. There's a recipe for that in my cookbook if you have it. Dope. Yeah. Make one, please. Yes, I want to. That was a good exercise, friends. Thank you for helping me out and participating. It helps me, like, jog my brain on how to use things, and maybe inspires my next week's cooking. So, if anyone has any more egg questions, I will happily answer them quickly here, or we can save it for the next stream, the next egg stream in June. Next week, so last night I had the tank gala. That was really exciting. This Friday, again, I'm going to be live streaming with Critical Bits, which is a role-playing podcast, and we're playing a game called Pasión de las Pasiones, and I'll be playing a character named Elena Oleana. I'm just dressing the part. Can you tell that I'm like already into it? I'm like, I'm gonna be dramatic, and I'm gonna gasp dramatically in Spanish at all times. It's gonna be really fun. But yeah, we're gonna do that at 8 p.m. Friday night, Critical Bits podcast. Follow him on Twitter to find out more. I don't really need to start watching. Hi, Jimmy. I don't really need to start watching telenovelas because I watched them. That's how I started learning Spanish. I watched a lot of Disney movies in Spanish. You know, on my AP test, I got, you know, a 4. I got a 6 on the IB Spanish test, so I can read and write Spanish very well. It's just speaking with other people, I get really, like, I get slow down. I have to, like, think too much. But I can understand pretty well. It's going to be great. Going to be so offensive with my accent. Yeah. So that's how coming up on Friday. On Sunday, I'm going to be back streaming here, noon Eastern time, talking about zines. So if you have questions about making your own zine, what to put in it, how to start writing for that stuff, like I love talking about it. I'm also going to be outlining, we're going to do a couple read-throughs of 2 independent zines and then go through all the magazines that I'm reading this week. I'm going to be reading a not food magazine this weekend, an issue of Shape that has Anna Kendrick on the cover because it got delivered to my house accidentally. But I'm very curious to see sort of the editorial layout and pick apart, you know, what works for this magazine and why it appeals to other people. Like, I'm just trying to widen my brain about being an editor because I've just recently become editor-in-chief of a new publication called Happy Family Night Market. So check us out on Instagram. Yeah, I really love it. It's been fun, like, reading pieces out loud and showing people, like, the recipes in them. I really love it. So if you want to talk about zines, join me on Sunday. I have the replay up here on Twitch if you want to watch that. It's very relaxing. I also covered a zine called Korean Fish, which was very beautiful. It's very small. It's by Pork Belly Comics. You can check them out, porkbellycomics.com. But this week I'll do Put an Egg on It issue number 8, which is the first appearance of me. I've been an editor at Put an Egg on It for about 5 years, but they existed well before I joined. And so we're going to cover issue 8, which is great. And then I haven't picked the second zine yet, but if you have suggestions for zines, I'd love to share links and check them out and maybe support the artists. But if it's really nice this weekend, maybe I'll stream quietly while I'm reading again. I just put on nature sounds for you. It's not necessarily for us to, like, talk, but that's something I do when it's really nice out, so hopefully I get some sunshine. What else is happening next week? Yeah, so next Wednesday's stream, I'll be back May 27th. Mike suggested that we talk about spam, so if you have questions about spam, let me know. I will cover the gamut as wide as I can. And then Carol asked about tofu, so we're going to go deep about origins of tofu, where it comes from, and how best to start out with it. If you have specific questions about those 2 items, please hit me up, either in the chat or on Twitter or whatever. Yes, I love spam as well. It is something I grew up with. Some people are still freaked out about it, you know, but I have some thoughts about it, about how we can change our perception of spam, at least. Oh, Adam says you heard about a spam dish that's popular in Hawaii. It's called spam musubi. It's basically spam sushi, spam rice, and nori. In fact, you know what? Why don't I make that on the next stream? Here, I'm going to put that as a note. Let's just say, make spam musubi. I have all the things for it. I even have a mold. It's very cute. Anyway, yeah, so next Wednesday we'll talk about spam and tofu, 2 polar opposites, kind of perfect to talk about in one stream. So if you have specific questions about those 2 items, tweet me, chat me, whatever. I will look into it. I love hanging out with all of you. Wait, you can make a press for it with the spam cam. Yep, that's true. I like all of you. I hope that I can get some more batteries for my Casio. I'm really sad that it crapped out at the beginning of the stream. But I hope you all have a safe weekend. I like you. Thanks for hanging out. If you have any cooking questions, hit me up, please. Goodbye, Fitzmurphy. Bye, Jimmy. Bye, Adam. Bye, Drip. Bye, Chris. Wait, what? Who is that? Gross. Somebody's being gross in the chat. Bye, everybody. It's nice to see you. I'm gonna play us out on the tone pad.